holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pile up calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead. But I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame. Every pile up calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land.
Welcome in, race fans, to another Thursday night right here on the Racers Elite Network, where tonight the Next Gen Cup Series is out west, and these drivers are going to be gambling and pushing in all the chips here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm going to be your host tonight. I go by the name of Brandon Massey, and alongside me is the legendary Russell Martin Jr. Russ, how we doing tonight?
Well, we're back here for week 2, coming to you from Las Vegas Motor Speedway out there in the high desert. And these Cup guys are on the track. They've put the time in for practice and under qualifying right now, and they're going to get ready to do some gambling here in Vegas.
They are going to do some gambling, but when we talk about gambling here in Vegas, we seen that last week in the season opener, Russ, at Kentucky, and that was nothing shy of a spectacular finish and drive over the final 10 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody out there wasn't with us last week, man, you missed one heck of a finish here. I mean, it came down to 3 guys, a lot of fuel saving, and we had Andrew Teft and out there running out of fuel, coming to the line. Ira Kohlhaas running out of fuel coming out of turn 4, and then Kensley Smith able to save those final drops of fuel to get by both of them and take that win last week at Kentucky Speedway. So, I mean, we're back here at another mile and a half cookie cutter, if you will. Very possible we may see the same thing happen again here tonight.
You're right. We very well could see the same thing happen here tonight. You know, I got to talking with a couple of people after the Kentucky race last week. And you know, Russ, that was just typical Kentucky, right? I go back to the last time that NASCAR ran there, and I was actually at that race with my wife, my mom, and my dad, and we seen it come down to a fuel mileage race between the Busch brothers, where Kurt was actually able to edge out Kyle, and to me, it just had that old Kentucky feel with the new next gen car.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how some of these things are set up. You know, like I said, I mean, we had one caution last week, and you know, if that caution wouldn't have come out, it may have been a completely different story. But at the same time, you know, that one caution gave us one hell of a finish last week, and you know, kicked this season off in typical Races Elite fashion. So, I mean, like I said, we're back here again, and we got 105 laps just like we did last week. May just come down to a fuel mileage gig again.
It very well could, and I'm excited about tonight. Las Vegas is one of those racetracks that you can run middle high in turns 1 and 2. The sometimes the middle high works in 3 and 4. I don't know if that'll be the case tonight, Russ, provided we are under the lights here in Las Vegas, but I suspect that we're going to see a very stellar race when it comes to these next gen cars.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, right now, the track temp is kind of low, currently sitting about 83 degrees. So, you know, there's going to be more grip in these cars than what we would traditionally see at a normal Las Vegas race. I mean, normally, you know, this track is well over 100 degrees anytime you come here. So the fact that they're under the lights here and, you know, currently a little bit cooler track conditions, these guys are going to have a little bit more grip than they're used to here. So it might get a little bit racy. I mean, we know that, you know, like you said, that middle lane, that top lane, definitely viable options here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I mean, we know that the top side can tend to chew your tires up just a little bit more, but definitely, again, a viable option for gaining positions.
Yeah, and when we talk about last week's top 3 with Kensley Smith, Andrew Teft, and Ira Kohlhaas, right now, those 3 are sitting all inside the top 4 here tonight in qualifying. And right now, on the pole, as it is with a few drivers left to qualify, is Ira Kohlhaas. And I think, Russ, you want to establish a little bit of momentum early, right? I mean, them guys finished top 3 last week, and then they come back this week, and they're 3 out of the top 4 right now on the speed charts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, you start the season off the same way that they did last week. I mean, and you're coming to almost, like I said, I mean, other than a little bit of track temperature difference, I mean, it's almost a a replicative track as to what these guys were on last week. So, you know, they were able to post a good finish there last week, feel really comfortable. I mean, those guys, there's no doubt that they're you know, it's not crazy to see that those top 3 guys starting inside the top 4, top 5 here tonight. So, I mean, there's some of those drivers that just have a knack for these certain, you know, as they call them, a cookie cutter mile and a half type of speedway. And, you know, I know from watching all of these seasons of Races Elite that, you know, Andrew Teft, definitely one of those drivers, Kensley Smith, one of those drivers, even Truth Hope, one of those drivers. And, you know, as you and I both know, Ira Kohlhaas, definitely one of those drivers too.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun to see how this plays out. And when I take a look at the schedule, you know, next week we're going to be headed into another mile and a half at Chicagoland, and then we're going to Watkins Glen, and then we're going to be off for Thanksgiving, and then we got Gateway Auto Club Pocono, and then a couple of weeks off, and then we head into Atlanta. But when I look at these first 3 races, provided they are the way they are, I think this is going to be an opportunity for a lot of these guys to really establish some momentum.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to show you, you know, well, first let me say, you know, you could kind of dictate what a season is going to look like based off of the schedule. So, I mean, you know, if you've got, you know, 5 or 6 of these mile and a half tracks in your regular season, and maybe, you know, 1 or 2 in your playoffs, you're definitely going to know who your contenders are after the first 2 or 3 races, because those are going to be the clear-cut, mile-and-a-half cookie-cutter style drivers, and they're going to be strong week in and week out. Those are going to be your contenders for a championship that season. So I mean, there's like I said, a lot of drivers, they really have a particular type of racetrack that they are really good at, and then there's some that aren't. So we're going to have this week, we're going to have next week. Then, like you said, you go to Watkins Glen. That's a wild card. You're going to have guys who are those road course ringers coming out of the woodwork, and we know one of them guys is he's back here in the season. That's Brandon Honeycutt. I know Brandon Honeycutt is really good at those road courses, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see him running up front there when we hit Watkins Glen.
Let's get into our 213simware.com starting grid. On pole, Clarksville native Ira Kohlhaas. Outside him, driving the number 10 is going to be Kirby Wainscott. Starting third, driving the number 98, it's going to be Andrew Teft. Starting fourth, last week's winner at Kentucky, driving the number 15, Kinsley Smith. Starting fifth, driver the 55, Truth Hoke. Starting sixth, driver the number 4, it's going to be Dennis Kane. Starting seventh, driver the number 12, Brandon Sanfilippo. Starting eighth, driver the number 777, David Davis. Starting ninth, driver the number 49, Robert Richardson. Starting 10th, driver of the number 21, Mike Hardy. Starting 11th, driving the number 8, Curtis Ecker. And starting 12th, driving the number 78, it's going to be Richard Ode.
Starting in 13th, going to be the 89 of Charles Joplin. Barry Nelson in 28, going to roll off in 14th. 82, Joshua Neal, going to start in 15th. Joshua Norton in that 24 car is going to start in 16th. Jonathan Winslow in the 70 car going to start in 17th. Alex Teft in the 43 going to roll off 18th. Then your final about 5 drivers here did not lay a lap in qualifying. We've got Brandon Honeycutt in the 13, Brandon Puffenbarger in the 5, Troy Thomas in the 88, Christopher Pendell in the 94, last season's returning champion, back with us again here tonight. And then rounding out this field of 24 drivers in the 92 is going to be Timothy Eisbren.
When I take a look at these front 4 cars, I want to point out something real quick. Kirby Wainscott, Kinsley Smith, Andrew Teft got together and did something really special for my dad. And you can see the windshield banners on the front 4 cars. And I tell you, Russ, that's a really, really cool. That's badass, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, Kinsley, kind of put these things together for all 3 touring series here for Races Elite, and I think every one of these drivers that has these things out here are proud to run them. And we run them in the trucks, we run them in the Xfinity, we got them here in the Cup. So, Jerry, we're always taking you around the track with us as these guys getting ready to come down and take the green flag. Ira Kohlhaas, Kirby Wainscott in the zone, and we are green flag racing.
And with Ira, his first pole of the season is going to get a really, really good start over top of Kirby Wainscott. And he's actually going to clear here, and he's going to have a really good entry, really good center. He's going to pull away from Teft as they head towards the back straightaway.
Ira there in the 29, great start, starting to stretch it out just a little bit as the 98 of Andrew Teft getting underneath Kirby Wainscott there in the 10. Trying to battle for P2 as we see Truth Hoke also trying to work his way on the bottom, right up there behind Andrew Teft in that 55 car.
Yeah, right now that battle for second, third, fourth, fifth, it's all right here. You can see side by side by side. Right now, Ira showing them the way. And before we started this thing, Russ, I got a text message from Ira, and he told me, he said, I'm not sure about the long run, but we got a damn hot rod for tonight. So I know he's pumped and excited, but now these cars are going to start to single file out, Russ. And you can see the 98 is clearing Kinsley in the 15, Hoke to the inside of him.
Yeah, good battle here now that Andrew's gotten clear. And with Truth Hoke and Kinsley Smith there, 55 and 15. Just got a side-by-side back here for there. And then got Brandon Sanfilippo down there on the bottom trying to make out the number on that bang painted looking car there, but trying to pick up a spot there. And it looks like not going to quite get it done. Going to fall back in line here.
Yeah, that's going to be the 49 of Robert
49.
Richardson right there. And we can see some really good battles. Again, Kirby and Andrew is back side by side with the battles that we've had up front. We've not been able to get through the rest of the field. Right now, the battle for third rages on. You have Teft, you have Kinsley, you have Hope. We're all right here together. Robert Richardson, Sanfilippo. It's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, I mean, these guys keep battling out. It's going to be kind of what Ira wants to see, but I mean, Kirby's gotten clear there of Andrew, and now he's trying to set his sights on running Ira down, but Ira's starting to look like he's getting a little racy and checking out just a little bit.
He's wanting to check out. I've been back here watching the 78, the 89, the 21. That's all going to be Richard Ode, Richie Joplin, Mike Hardy. These three guys have been throwing shade at each other for the last couple of laps. Ecker trying to work his way through the field. Right now, those battles rages on. Right now, Teft, though, is under fire from Robert Richardson and Truth Hope.
Yeah, kind of surprising to me this early on in the run right now. It just kind of looks like that high line has got a little bit more speed, a little bit more raciness out of it. I mean, Andrew's been kind of sticking that thing on the bottom, but these guys are getting around him running that top side. So definitely the optimal lane right now looking like it's going to be the outside lane.
Yeah, we thought maybe that would come into play. We didn't think that it would come into play that quick. Again, we'll check back out front. Ira's still showing the way by a mere half a second. And, you know, he's got a new sponsor on board, that Chevrolet. He brought on Bullpen Cleaning out of Georgia, and he's very excited to be representing a new brand, is Ira Kohlhaas.
It's always fun when you pick yourself up a new sponsor.
And so showing the way right now, I think he just needs to pace himself. He's got a comfortable lead right there where he is. Now Kinsley really starting to close in. But I tell you, the one guy on the move, Russ, and he's up 5 spots. That's the 49 of Robert Richardson.
Yeah, 49, that Bang energy drink, sporty looking car, definitely making up some spots here. Looking pretty racy up there on that top side. I mean, he, like you said, up currently, what did you say, five spots? Yeah, he started P9 up to P4. I mean, he is definitely on the move early on.
He is, and the one guy trending backwards, though, and before I get there, the one thing I worry about with the 49 is going too early, and what I mean by that is burning the tires off the thing, but the one guy trending backwards right now is the 98 of Andrew Teft. He has David Davis all over him.
Yeah, currently down, looks like 4 spots, and, I mean, like I said, he's content to run that bottom side. I mean, we know, you know, a lot of times at these mile and a half, running that bottom is going to save you tire over the long run. But, you know, at some point, I mean, you kind of wonder, is it worth it? I mean, Andrew tends to make it work a lot. You know, you may see him fall back, and then he'll gain it back as the run goes on. So it's a matter of, you know, conserving those tires while not giving up too much. And Andrew's usually pretty good about doing that. So, I mean, right now, still holding on there in P6. Looks like he picked up 1 spot. He was running P7, I thought, there for a second. So just kind of maintaining at this point, it seems like.
He is, and right now, Brandon Sanfilippo is under fire from the 89 of Richie Joplin. And you can see the 21 of, who is that, Mike Hardy, Curtis Ecker. They're all in tow. Now Sanfilippo is going to try to cross over the 89. He's not going to get to the bumper, so the 89 net him up a position. He's moved himself up 4. Richard Ode has moved himself up 4. Robert Richardson's got around Kirby. Kirby's now under fire from Truth Hope. Move Robert Richardson up to 3rd.
Yeah, high side still seeming prevalent right now. But, you know, the one I'm going to kind of keep an eye on throughout this race here, you know, we were just had an eye on him there, is Brandon Sanfilippo there in that 12. I mean, that's another one who, you know, on these mile and a half tracks, once he gets himself into a comfortable position and into his zone, he is one to watch out for. I mean, Tuesday night in the Truck Series, he picked up a win here in Racers Elite at Nashville Super Speedway, and that's, you know, 1.33 mile track. So, I mean, he's one that he picks up his pace and he finds his pace as the race goes on. So if this thing goes green, you know, for quite a while, I wouldn't be surprised to start seeing Sanfilippo working his way up to the front, maybe on a pit strategy call or something, but he is one to watch out for too on these mile and a half tracks.
Yeah, and right now you can see you've got the 89 of Richard Joplin, the 78 Richard Ode side by side. Curtis Ecker nowhere to go. Sanfilippo nowhere to go. You got the 94 last season's champion in Christopher Pindell. He's looking, I mean, there's just nowhere for these guys to go. They're side by side.
We got one in the round in the back. Dennis Kane. looks like Dennis Kane gets hooked a little bit there and gonna just barely touch the inside wall. I think he's gonna be all right.
That is going to bring out our first caution, and we'll back that up and take a look at that. If I can find, there it is. So let's take a look here. We can see Dennis on the outside of the 24 there. Maybe net code.
I was just gonna say that looked like it was a little bit of net code. I mean, you kind of see the, Dennis coming off of the corner there, and who is that there underneath the 24? He's kind of washing up just a little bit, but I think it was, it's definitely net code right there. I mean, look at that distance between them two.
Yeah, definitely net code there. Dennis does a good job of getting onto the brakes here. He's driving it out. There's the brakes. You can see now the car, he's got it backing up. Now the car lands. He's doing everything he can to keep it off the wall, and actually does a relatively good job to not really take that much damage. I can tell you,
dude, he just barely touched that inside wall. Like I said, I think he's going to be all right.
And that's the little bit of contact he had. So
just a little kiss.
I want to say this, dude. I raced last night, Russ. I raced on Wednesdays in the Xfinity Series, and me and Dennis ran side by side for 4 or 5 laps. And I talked to you about a little bit about this in before we went live, and man, me and him was leaning on each other and just putting on a really good show, and had a lot of fun. And I shot him a message after the race, and I was like, dude, that was a lot of fun. And no ill intent. It was just hard racing. And he definitely, when I race around him, I know that I can trust him and not have to worry. So
yeah, Dennis has always been one of those drivers who, he does what he can to keep that car clean, and anything that does happen, definitely not intentional from what I've seen yet so far since he's come back. So
maybe some fuel strategy, some tire strategy calls going on, because right now Robert Richardson, Mike Hardy both beat Ira off pit road. And when I look at the pit road times, Mike Hardy was only on in his pit box for about 6 seconds. Ira was only in there for about 7 seconds. So maybe all 3 of them playing a little bit of strategy. I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% sure what these guys are going to do. We know that a fuel run, we was told, was 39 laps, right? So
somewhere between like 37, 39, 40 laps, somewhere in there. So I mean, it could just be a fuel top off, no tires at this point. I mean, that could be why we saw such quick pit times. I mean, maybe just topping that tank off, save the tires for a little bit later on. But I mean, it's Vegas. I mean, it's not terribly deadly on the tires here, but I mean, it can be depending on whereabouts you're running on the track. And it's also not as hot as what it normally is too, so that helps kind of save a little bit on the tire too.
Yeah, and it was a 14 lap run right under green. I mean, you can move up the racetrack, maybe save a little tire on the bottom, maybe save a little tire. Yeah, now this restart's going to look a little bit different, right? Because now we have Robert Richardson. He's going to restart second. Mike Hardy's actually going to be restarting first. Actually, no, Robert Richardson chose the outside. So I believe, because I think he was the first one off pit road. So yeah, I think he took the outside, and then you got Kinsley Smith, restarting on the outside. Ira, Kirby, Truth, that's going to be the top 6. So now the restart looks a little bit different. Now we got to see what Ira can do after leading the first 14, 15 laps.
Yeah, I mean, Robert's going to have the zone to himself, so he can, he's the one who's in charge of leading this field back to green. So, I mean, he's going to have control of this thing, but we'll see how Ira does. He's been pretty good here so far tonight, but it'll be the first time that he's had to be behind somebody. So. Back to Green Flag Racing here from Las Vegas.
Yeah, we're back to Green Flag Racing, and look at this. Ira very quickly is going to make this 3 wide.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not waiting.
This is the most raceable. Okay, I'm going to say this, and I try not to be biased, right? You know this. I try to call like I see it. This is the most raceable, racy I've seen Ira in a long time. as far as being comfortable in the car. You can see very quickly he's starting to put pressure on the 49 to try to get back to the top spot.
Yeah, I mean, Ira is one of those drivers that, he's usually, the more cautious, saving his stuff, making sure, trying to not put himself at risk, early on in a race. But right now, I mean, I feel like he knows he's got a racy car, and he wants to drive that thing for as hard as he can, as early as he can, and try to really make a statement here tonight.
Yeah, and a really good battle we have going right now for the lead. Again, we believe the 49 has the preferred line. Actually, yeah, Ira's not going to be able to hold the his quarter panel, so move him back to second. He does have in Kinsley Smith what we would call an associate team. Kinsley drives for DEI, Drivers Extreme Incorporated. Ira drives for Bohica, but collectively the two teams work together in about every series that they race in here in Racers Elite.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to, when you don't have any direct teammates in a field, it's always nice when you've got, whether it be a manufacturing teammate or, an associate's teammate, something. It's always nice to have people to work with when you don't have a direct teammate on the track with you. And now Ira looking to trying to clear the 49 there. He's got him cleared. Ira Kohlhaas back to the point here in Vegas.
He did, and Ira drove that thing off into turn one to set that run up and to actually clear him through the center. And back out front is the 29 of Ira Kohlhaas. Move Robert Richardson back one spot. But now Robert's moved up 7 spots, has a really good run going. I want to look at something that's completely catching me off guard, Russ. And this 98 just looks uncomfortable tonight. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's just trending backwards. He's fallen 8 spots over the course of the night.
Yeah, definitely kind of uncharacteristic from what we're used to seeing out of the 98, especially at these mile-and-a-half tracks. But I mean, maybe doing a little bit of saving. I mean, we don't know what these guys' strategies. I mean, we didn't really know last week, what the strategies look like. I mean, Andrew, one of them ones that did massive amounts of fuel saving at the end of that race. Last week just ran out of fuel. Between the entry to pit lane and the line, the start finish line, had that win snagged away from him from Kinsley Smith. So I mean, maybe it's just a kind of another strategy call here. Maybe trying to do a little bit of saving earlier on this week instead of waiting until the second half.
Yeah, so we'll just wait and see how that plays out. But I want to touch on last season's champion and Christopher Pindell. Move him up 14 spots. He's inside the top 10. Currently riding in the 8th position, battling Richard Ode for 7th, and he's on the move. Now, we know he started deep in the field. I don't think he took a qualifying time, but he's starting to gain that momentum that we seen him have last year.
Yeah, I mean, last season's, champion obviously had the most, most wins out of any driver here in the Next Gen Series. He had, three regular season wins. He had 1 win in the playoffs. Really strong playoff performance out of him, real consistent throughout all 4 races. And, he wasn't here last week. Glad to see him back out here this week at Vegas. And obviously he's, got another hot rod under him because he, like you said, he didn't lay a qualifying lap. He started in 22nd and currently up to 7th.
Yeah, and he's very rapidly and quickly approaching Wayne Scott and David Davis right there in front of him. So side by side right now out front for P2, you can see Kinsley Smith starting to put some pressure on Robert Richardson. And Truth Hope, he's in tow. Kinsley might have got a little bit tight on exit there, but these two cars are... Now there goes Truth to the bottom of Kinsley here.
Yeah, this is another driver I said, during the intro here at the beginning of this race to watch out for on these mile-and-a-halves is that 55 of Truth Oak. I mean, he's really, really good at these mile-and-a-halves, and if he can get himself, in a position like right now where he's got clean air because he's running a completely different line than what some of these other guys are. You got, Robert Richardson and Kinsley Smith running more of that top side in the corner, and Truth is running that bottom. It's going to keep that clean air on his nose, make him just a little bit more racier. And, as this race progresses, this is where Truth kind of really shines is on these types of tracks. So definitely another one to watch out for in that 55.
Yeah, and you can see as him and Kinsley race side by side, that's allowed Robert to kind of gap out a little bit. Here comes Christopher Pendel. He's now moved to 5th. I don't know who fell. I don't know if maybe it was Wayne Scott had trouble, what the situation was, but now moved Christopher Pendel up to 5th. And when I take a look at the last time lap times, Russ, right now, you know, that was a kind of a, yeah, he's the fastest car on the racetrack is Christopher Pendel.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. Like I said, this guy, you know, last season, clearly one of the most improved drivers coming out of the season prior. I mean, just always seemed to have a really fast ride under him last season. I know he got a little bit of coaching help, you know, at certain types of tracks. I think he really learned a lot over the course of last season, which helped him get those wins and pick up that first championship. And, you know, you get that weight off your back because now we see Alex Teff there having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and there's the
and
caution.
Now we have a caution.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, going back to Christopher Pendel, I mean, you know, having that kind of a season like he had last season, it gives you a lot of confidence moving into this new season. And obviously, you know, starting 22nd up to P4 now, that confidence is here, and he's back to wheeling this car.
Let's take a look and see what happened to Alex here if we can. Well, not going to let me see it. Let me try again. Yeah, it's not going to let me show it. So, not sure what happened with Alex there. Race control gave him the benefit of the doubt, was gonna let him try to get it fired up, and the leaders was just coming around. That's why we see our second caution of the day. So now 30 laps in, what do we do here? That was about another 15 lap run, right? So now the question becomes, what do we do? You can see there goes Christopher Pendel, Kirby Wayne Scott, all coming down pit road, Richard Ode. So Ira and several of these drivers have elected to stay out. So this is going to be an interesting shakeup now, Russ, because we have Puffenbarger on pit road. We know Wayne Scott. There comes Curtis Ecker. Yeah, there's a lot of fast guys on pit road, and we know there's been a lot of fast guys out front. So,
yeah, I mean, you know, these differing strategies, you know, definitely coming into play early on, 30 laps in here. I mean, maybe on that last caution, maybe, you know, Ira and Truth, and maybe they took right sides only, so they don't feel like they need to come down right now to get tires. I mean, like I said, a whole bunch of different strategies could definitely play out. And you know, while I'm going here, it looks like I'm going back and I'm looking at Alex Teff's incident. It looks like he might have just got a little bit of a bump from the 24 car. It looks like through the center of 3 and 4, and just wasn't able to fully get it back up under control. It looked like he was pretty loose all the way through the exit of 4, kind of sideways, gets down onto the apron and just not able to fully correct it, and just kind of gets up into the outside wall there right around the start-finish line.
yeah, and for whatever reason, for the race fans at home, I don't know why it wouldn't let me go back, but every time I went back to the replay option, it just didn't have anything there for us.
I would say you might have had to do it the old-fashioned way, because even I had a little trouble. It was almost like it would take me back so far, and then it would kind of like maybe he would have blinked out, and then it would take me back again. So
Gotcha.
Maybe it was just, you know, like a little one of the old-fashioned ways of doing it. But all in all, I think he's going to be all right. I don't think he caught the wall too awful bad, but yeah, just a little bit of a racing incident, no big deal.
So we're under our second caution right now. We know Ira has he's been on a roll so far tonight. We've got, and we'll go through the top 10 real quick, Russ. Ira Kohlhaas, Robert Richardson, Truth Hope, Kinsley Smith, Richie Joplin, David Davis, Joshua Norton, Brandon Sanfilippo, Joshua Neal, Christopher Pendel, Andrew Teff, Richard Ode. That's going to be somewhere in around abouts the top 10 of drivers. Now, Russ, we're going to have some different strategies going to play out here when we go back to green. We have guys that elected to stay out, and we're going to have guys on 4 fresh Goodyears. The first one, I believe, being will be Christopher Pendel. So I believe he's going to be the first one on fresh tires. So now we're going to really see, does fresh tires matter? Do they not?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're about 15 laps, 17 laps, give or take, clear of that first pit stop. I mean, like I said, if Ira and them took right sides only, we might see a little bit more speed out of the guys who took four. But we're soon to find out. Ira's back under control in the zone, and we're off, and we're back to green flag racing here from
We
Phoenix,
are back to
Vegas.
Yep, it don't matter where we are. We're just back to green.
No matter. We're making left turns wherever we go.
That's right. And back out front is the 29 Ira Kohlhaas. Got a really good jump. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on this 94. We're going to see just exactly how quick he gets through this field. Now, again, this strategy is going to be something that we're going to want to keep an eye on, because if Christopher gets through the field really quick, and you can see
he had a run there on that 89 and had to check up really bad. I mean, so we know that the run is definitely there with those fresh tires, what we just saw.
It is, and my heart just sank. I can tell you, yeah, this is exactly what Ira needs. Ira needs to be able to check out a little bit here now. But what I was going to say, Russ, was we'll see this play out, because if this race goes green, and that's what these guys on older tires is going to need, they're going to need it to go green for it to work out in their favor. That or an early caution, like within the next 5 laps, keeping Pendel kind of pinned where he is, and then come to pit road. That's kind of what these guys are going to have to hope for.
Yeah, I mean, a track like this here, I mean, those fresh tires, they're gonna equalize out probably within about 10 or 12 laps. So it's like you said, it's either a quick caution like within 5, or you're gonna need a long one for Chris's tires to kind of equalize and even himself out. But right now, I mean, he gets clear of the 89, he gets clear of the 78. Now he's starting to breathe down the neck of the 55 of Truth Oak, and he's going to take him inside going into 1.
Yeah, and right now he's laying down some very quick laps. This Christopher Pendel, we could see him touch the wall on the exit of turn 4, move him up to second. The next guy in tow is the race leader. He's led the most laps so far tonight. That's Ira Kohlhaas. Very quickly, Pendel's going to move to the outside here. He's going to try to set up a run on the exit of 4.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take him long at all to get this pass done and start to stretch this thing out. I mean, Ira's not going away. He's driving it hard down into turn 1 here, not looking to give it up too easily. But I don't think Ira's got much of anything to hold off the 94 of those fresh tires right now. As the 94 is now going to get clear and try to start checking out.
Yeah, the 78, he's on 4 fresh Goodyears. Ira was going to give him the top to let him go. Again, he's going to fight for position here, but I think the best thing that you can do if you're Ira in the 29, let that 78 go, maintain 3rd, and then, get down pit road here whenever your pit window opens to get 4 fresh Goodyears. So, move Christopher Pendel out front, Richard Ode 2nd, Ira the 3rd, Truth Oak 4th, Richie Joplin 5th, Curtis Ecker 6th, Andrew Teff 7th. Robert Richardson has fallen all the way back to 8th since that restart. Barry Nelson 9th, David Davis 10th.
Yeah, it looks like Andrew starting to kind of pick up just a little bit there in that 98. I mean, we saw him fall back almost, I think, around the 13th spot or so. Now worked his way back up to 7th here, starting to work his way back up to the front.
Yeah, and I think these are some of the guys that did come down pit road. I can double check, and in fact, it is Andrew Teff came down pit road. Curtis Ecker both came down pit road, and I can confirm Richard Ode did too. So these guys have about 15 lap fresher tires than the cars that they're racing around right now. That's why we see Curtis Ecker mowing through, Andrew Teff mowing through. Again, this is all strategy, and we're going to have to see how it plays out, Russ, as we have completed 39 laps of the 105.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out, especially if we get a really long green flag run going here, as to how much longer guys like, Ira and Truth can stay out. I mean, even Kensley Smith. I mean, Kensley was running up there towards the front. He's fallen back to, about 16th right now? Let me see. Kensley.
Yeah,
Where'd you go?
Kensley's
back to 18th now. So, I mean, Kensley falling way back since the restart of this race. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, how far that those guys that didn't come down pit road are going to be able to go before they have to come down. I mean, other than that, they're going to get freight trained here by these guys that took 4 tires that last stop.
So we know that we've been told that they can go anywhere from 37 to 40 laps, right? So easy math, if they can get to 40, the guys that hasn't been down pit road, that didn't come down pit road, at least on the second caution, was on pit road a lap 15. So, you know, give them 40 laps. That's going to put them at about lap 55, give or take, right? So I would think at around lap 50, the pit window is going to open for those guys. Now, that's going to give them about 20 lap fresher tires. I think right now, the one guy that could potentially benefit from this, that's going to be on a rail when he comes back out, and if he just continues to fight here, would be the 29 of Ira, because in fact, he's been able to hold his own right here with Ecker and Teft the last couple laps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you figure once everything cycles out, you know, and Ira and Truth and those guys come down and get those tires, you know, eventually, you know, like I said, if this thing stays green, you know, Pindell and Eckert and Ode and Tev, they're going to have to come back down pit road again. So ultimately, this is still going to be a battle for the lead with Ira and Truth, unless something, you know, interrupts that and we see another yellow flag or something like that. But other than that, I mean, you know, these guys going by now, they're going to have to still come down pit road again, you know, probably around, what, lap 70 or so. So, I mean, again, you know, Ira and Truth are going to have to come down one more time after this, too. But that's going to give them, you know, 15, 20 lap fresher tires with about 15 to go in the race.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on it, right? And that's all depending, Russ, on this race staying green, right? And so
absolutely,
we're gonna have to just see how this shakes out. We've got several drivers on different strategies. Right now, we know Kohlhaas, Teft, those two, they're on old tires. They're, you know, Ira's maintaining inside the top 5. Truth right there with him. Let's see, when did Dennis Kane? So they got 2 more drivers coming behind them. They're a couple seconds back. I believe the pit window for Kohlhaas, Hope, these drivers is going to open here in about 4 to 5 laps. I suspect that's when we'll see them guys on pit road.
Yeah, I would say probably within, you know, 5 to 7, probably a safe bet for those guys. But,
3 wide back here.
Again, 3 wide. You know, again, like we said, this is all anticipatory upon, you know, this thing staying green. Because I mean, those guys come down pit road, the guys who just made their pit stop under caution, you know, Ira and Truth, you know, those guys are going to end up going a lap down. So, you know, they're going to have things play out right for them, and this thing stay green. Because if they come down and make a pit stop, and they go a lap down, then a caution comes out, it's going to trap them a lap down. Then, you know, all these guys, Pindell and Teft and them, they're going to be able to come down and get a free pit stop because those other guys are going to stay out to get their lap back, and it's going to keep them guys right up front.
Yeah, it is. And I think, you know, when Kohlhaas, them guys decide to come to pit road, you can see these guys have been battling right here. Ecker starting to put some pressure on Richard Ode here. So is Andrew Teff, the battle for second. But when those guys come down pit road, Russ, what they're going to want to do is, I would think, would be run hard and try to unlap themselves, right? And I mean, make up as much track position you potentially can. I think you could be conservative for the first 5-10 laps, get the tires warmed up, get a little heat in them, and then really start to drive. But I mean, you can see Ira. I mean, well, he's not even 3 seconds behind the race leader right now, so he's not lost a ton of time to Christopher Pindell, even on 15-lap older tires. So, we're just going to have to see how this thing shakes out. I don't know. I'm scratching my head.
That's what I said, man. That's one of the things here with Racers Elite. You see all these different strategies, and you're like, man, I'm glad I'm not in the car having to make those calls. It's too much thinking.
It is. So we've hit lap 50 now. And provided, I think the pit window for these guys is open. Now, it's just a matter of when they decide to come, right? So you got Pindell out front, last season's champion, Curtis Ecker, Andrew Teft. And these two have been working together, just working themselves up through the field. And I can tell you, they're very quickly and rapidly catching Christopher Pindell. They're right now about a tenth or a little quicker than a tenth faster than Pindell is right now. So, yeah,
I mean, you know, Pindell sometimes has the tendency to burn his stuff up just a little bit, trying to really stretch stuff out. But I mean, Curtis Ecker and Andrew, I mean, they're teammates over there at Chicken Coop Racing. So, see them trying to work together to try to, manage this gap or try to shrink this gap to Chris is not really a surprise to me. But, both drivers working really well right now. And like you said, we're approaching that halfway mark, closing in on lap 52. I feel like you said, I feel like that window for Ira and Truth and those guys is pretty much open now, probably any time within the next 4 laps or so, probably.
Well, let's think about this, right? Because they did have a couple of caution laps in there. So if they saved underneath that caution, let's just say hypothetically they can get to 60, right? Then this thing becomes a fuel mileage deal once again, right?
Yeah.
So
because I mean, if you can make it 60 with caution, yeah, it could potentially be a one-stop race for those guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that, staying green, but well, we'll have to see.
I mean, they would have to say 5 or 6 laps over the course of that last run. And of course, if you think about it, that's what happened last week at Kentucky. So again, that's all depending on whether or not that they can get to lap 60. If Ira can get to 60 and one stop, he could say, because you're right, Russ, everybody else is going to have to come to pit road. They're going to have to make another stop. So, Pendel, Teft, Ecker, Honeycutt, Ode, Wayne Scott, all those drivers that has been on pit road are going to have to come back down. Right now, they've always on pit road around lap 30, 32. You can see Ira is the highest running non-pitting car during the second caution, and he's still inside the top 10, battling amongst these guys right here. So Russ, these drivers make this thing difficult on us. In fact, there comes Ira to pit road.
Yep, I say Ira's coming down, able to go to just about lap 55 there. So, yeah, just not able to. I mean, I was just going to say, as you were talking right there, I'm thinking, is this going to become a recurring theme that we're going to see this year of these guys trying to make these races in one stop because it worked last week?
Yeah, I mean, so to do it now, he can get to 40, so that would tell me he could get to 96. So he would have to save 10 laps. If he was to try to run it long here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Andrew Teft has gotten around Curtis Ecker for second, so move him up one spot. The distance between Teft and Pendel now, as you can see, Christopher's in the outside wall up there, is less than a half second. So these guys have reeled him in and virtually neglected that entire lead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Chris just ran, a bit too hard there, trying to really stretch this thing out, maybe burn his stuff up just a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure if he got into that wall because he got tight, showing the signs of burning up that right side or not. But man, Andrew's right there. He's looking at that back bumper, that 94, saying, "Get back here to me. I want to get by you."
Yeah, Andrew must have heard us say that he was trending backwards, because since the restart, he's been trending forward. Let's take a look at some guys back here a little bit deeper in the field. We've not had a big chance to talk about tonight. I mean, we got Trevor Fettig running inside the top 15 right now in 15th. Joshua Neal, 16th. Kinsley, we've talked a little bit about, and Kinsley's running long. I mean, I bet Kinsley's been saving fuel. I bet he pits here in the next couple of laps. But I tell you, one guy back here that has struggled has been Poffenbarger.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when I got to thinking about it, we were talking about this whole one-stop deal, and then I got to thinking about Kinsley at how far he fell back off since that restart, and it's making me wonder if, he is not trying to do that, because he is staying out here yet again, still yet to come down pit road, and we are on lap 59. If he can make it 260, like you said, and you're talking, again, about 39 laps of fuel to a run. That's going to put you at about 45 to the end of this race. Once again, you're going to have to save about 5 or 6 laps of fuel, not counting any potential green-white checkers should they come out. And it looks like Kinsley going to shoot down right now. Yep.
Well, I can tell you he was a second and a half off the pace.
Yeah. I definitely have a feeling that that we're going to see him saving again here in the second half, and he is going to try to one-stop this thing just like he did last week at Kentucky.
So, change for the lead. Andrew Taft out front. Christopher Pendle's now trending backwards after leading the last several laps. Curtis Ecker's gotten around him. You can see there's the lap car, the 24. I believe he was probably just on pit road. There's Christopher Pendle, and then there comes the guy you was talking about earlier in Honeycutt.
Yeah, Brandon always a threat. Almost any track. I mean, it doesn't matter what type of track it is. Brandon's a threat just about anywhere you go. Just came back here to Races Elite this week, and good to see him back out there again and putting it to these guys. He is fast just about anywhere he goes, and he is going to be a threat to these guys all season long.
Yeah, and Kirby Wayne Scott's right there in tow. There's Dennis Kane. He's rebounded well from that first early incident that we had, brought out the first console of the night. In fact, move him inside the top 10, currently riding in the 6th position.
Yeah, Dennis, pretty nice rebound there. Currently running 6th after that incident early on. Just kind of keeping himself in this thing, and that's one thing about this. I mean, these races have enough of a length where something were to happen early on, like what happened to Dennis. I mean, it's easy to make a rebound throughout the entire race. So good to see Dennis able to rebound. I mean, we know we're going to see him back down pit road here again, but still a good rebound for him after that incident earlier on.
Yeah, and you can see he tried messing with us last week, and he just about got me. But Troy Thomas, one guy we've not mentioned here tonight, and he's in the 88 this season, not the 3. But you can see right there he is currently just outside. Well, in fact, he just moved himself inside the top 10, is Troy Thomas.
Yeah, he's another one. He's usually always pretty consistent. And, he said he went back to his original number on iRacing there, that 88. And he said he was doing it with the hopes of screwing with us broadcasters. But, it didn't work on me. I made sure I remembered that he had changed those numbers. And, another solid showing there out of Troy here tonight.
Yeah, Richard Ode, he's back here. He had a strong run going and then just kind of has fallen off a little bit. So let's check in on the drivers that we know has had to come back down pit road. Right now, the first car one lap down is Alex Teft. However, Ira Kohlhaas is on 4 fresh Goodyears. Robert Richardson, David Davis, Jonathan Winslow, Kinsley Smith. So all the guys that didn't pit have now pitted and trying to work themselves back through the lead to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Andrew Teft's still out there leading Curtis Ecker. Looks like by just under about a half a second. So then we see Honeycutt working his way up there past Chris Pendle, currently up to P3.
Yeah, and Honeycutt,
Pendle, again, still trending backwards just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lap times, Russ, and right now Ecker is about a 10th and a half or so, almost 2/10 quicker than Andrew Tefter. He was the last lap, so we'll keep an eye on that. I'll see what he ran this time. Yeah, he was still about a half-tenth quicker that lap. Matching lap times with Ecker is Honeycutt. So, yeah, they're a little bit faster than Andrew right now by about a half a tenth, give or take. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I had something I was going to talk to you about, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is, right? When we call these races, you get something on your mind, and then we end up going somewhere else, and it's like, I had something for us to touch on, and now I don't remember what it was.
yeah, you kind of get that in your head, and then get off. Something happens, you go off on this wild tangent, then you try to bring it back, and you're like, oh, wait, I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what it was. Pit window for these guys. In fact, here comes Ecker, right? So that's what I was wanting to touch on, was the pit window for these guys. So we knew that, and you called it, we figured it was going to be somewhere out around lap 70. Now we know that's going to be 35, 36 laps to the finish for these guys. We know they're going to be able to get there. The question then becomes, is Ira saving? Is he not? We know Kinsley's going to be in fuel save mode to try to get to the end. We know he came at lap 60. So now we really start to get into some strategies to see how this thing's going to shake out. Ecker's down pit road. Andrew's still on the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest question, for guys like Ira and Kinsley, I mean, is if they are going to try to one-stop this and try to go to the end, I mean, are the tires going to be able to hold up over that course of a run? I guess these guys who are going to have 20 lap pressure tires. I think that's going to be the big question. But I'm not, and I don't want to say it because they proved me wrong last week. And I think stretching it is just, it's going to be tough. I think to do it again, but again, who am I? They made me look like a fool last week, and they'll probably do it again this week.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, Ecker came off pit road. Of course, he is a lap down, but I mean, he's only 4 seconds behind Ira. So either Ira's saving or he's just not driving hard. One of the two, and I'm not sure which of the which is going on. But I mean, with those fresher tires, I mean, Curtis, he should catch him, I would think. Andrew's on pit road.
Yeah, I mean, if there's only about a 4 second gap there, yeah, I would think he'd be able to run that down in probably a matter of 10 or so laps. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
It will be interesting.
See, Honeycutt coming down.
Yep. So pit window's open for all these guys. Now, as this starts to shake out, right? I want to keep an eye on where Ira is here. I believe that puts all these guys. I believe it's going to put them all back on the lead lap. Yeah. So Ira just got around. So move him. So put Ira's back on the lead lap. Now he's still got some cars in front of him that's on pit road. So we'll see how this shakes out. And in fact, right there, that is the 88. So he got around the leader in Troy Thomas right there. So Ira is technically back on the lead lap. Now, again, Ecker has already shaved off 2 seconds. So as this plays out, Russ, I think, truthfully, I think Ira and those guys that ran long there that didn't pit on that second caution, I think they're going to need one.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Kurt's already, you can see him in the foreground there. He's going to need, something to happen, because I just, these fresher tires are going to pay dividends in the long run, I think.
Yeah. So now the cycle has played out, right? Move Ira back out front. Ecker, though, is right here, and he's within a second, right? Just called about just a little over a half second. Andrew Teff there coming. I think Ira's going to need a caution. He's probably going to need one quick. I just don't see him being able to hold these guys off. And then also, too, the question becomes, does he even have enough fuel to even get to the end?
Right. I mean, that's what I was just going to say is, if he had to pit again, especially under green, it's going to put him back a lap down. And, it's going to, I mean, the only other thing, again, would be a caution to help save him, to be able to give him the wave around to get back on the lead lap. But now we see Curtis making that pass on Ira for the lead here going into 3.
I thought I had to sneeze. Yeah, Ecker gets around him. So, and then now you got Teft in tow, Richardson in tow, Pendel some distance off those guys. So
I was saying, Pendel back there still smacking the wall on quarter exit 4.
He's getting everything out of the race car that he possibly can. He just don't want to damage those crush panels and get any of them toxic fumes inside the race car. That could be bad. So move Andrew around. Move Andrew around Ira. The things that we come up with, Russ, when we're calling these races. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it fun. You never know where you're going to get.
So move Andrew up to second. Now you got Ira has back in the third, and then about a second and so behind him is Robert Richardson. Then you got Pendel, Honeycutt, well, he ran long, a couple of laps, lost a little bit of track position. You got Honeycutt, Wayne Scott, you got Joplin right here together, these three. So there's Truth Hope.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one that I've kind of been impressed with here tonight is that 49er, Robert Richardson. He's been up front, most of this race here tonight, and he's really shown some really good speed. I mean, I don't think we really talked much about him last week at Kentucky, but here tonight, I mean, he's been up front. Yeah, I think he's been up inside the top 5 most of the night here tonight in Vegas.
Yeah, and the one thing that we always try to do, I mean, you've talked about this several times, is we try to talk about every single driver out on the racetrack. We try to give them all as much time as we possibly can. And of course, that's all depending on the runs that these drivers get and the battles that we see in terms of our scoring, timing and scoring. But yeah, he's just had an impressive run and just has done a really, really good job. And I tell you, another guy that we haven't really mentioned a whole lot about is the 70 back here. I don't know where he's going, but he's way off pace. So, yeah, and that's gonna be Jonathan Winslow. So I don't know, maybe he's trying to come to pit road. I don't know what's going on with that race car. Good looking paint scheme. I
was saying, might have just got a little bit bent out of shape or something. Just trying to get it back up under him.
So there comes Pendel. You can see Ira's right in front of him. Ira's trying to get around the lap car of the 70 there. So there goes Pendel. Now, when I look at the lap times, Ira's last lap by was a 30.80. So I'm going to say Ira's in a fuel save mode right now, trying to save as much fuel as he possibly can, try to get to the end of this thing, albeit try to hold on to as much track position as he can. Just try to conserve what could be a solid points day, but you can see there's Honeycutt and Wayne Scott. They're all in the same picture.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel, like you said, it's kind of conserving for points, I guess. I mean, right now it looks like, lap 82 got, just over 20 laps to go. I mean, again, anything could happen here in these closing laps, but I mean, these guys have been green for, a really good long stretch here, and we're going to anticipate this thing's going to go green to the end, and I mean, all these guys can do now, like Ira and is just kind of conserve the best that you can and try to salvage what you can to give yourself a good point stay in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean, you're setting third right now in points after the third place finish you had last week. So now, right now, it's just a matter of, the strategy is what the strategy is as it runs, right? There's nothing you can do at this point to change it unless you get a caution. And right now, that's what you're begging for. If you're Ira Kohlhaas, is to get a caution. We know he's been one of the fastest cars all night long, if not the fastest car. In fact, when I look down through here, he holds the fastest lap of the race. So I think right now it's just a matter of trying to, just be patient. If you get the caution, fine. If not, do everything you can to hold on to the track position you can to get to the end. Because right now, I mean, he's running 30.88, and that's what he's been consistently running the last couple of laps. You can see he gets into the wall there. But it's a matter of just having a solid points day, right? Like, I mean, the strategy is what it is right now. And while it may not play out in your favor, take all the points you can get. The goal is to be inside the top 12, here in the handful of races to make the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every driver, you come into these races, you've got some kind of a strategy. You come in here for practice, and you're seeing how many laps you're getting out of a fuel run. You're getting an idea of say what a 20-lap run is going to do to your tires. You're trying all this different stuff, and then you go into the race and you say, okay, like, I feel like I can save enough fuel. I'm going to try to one-stop this thing if we go green. And then you go out and, bam, you get two cautions in the first 30 laps. And then you got to make that decision of, okay, now do I change my strategy? Do I stick to my strategy? Am I going to anticipate more cautions? So if I stay out, is it really going to hurt me? Am I going to be able to stretch it farther than what I thought because of all these cautions? And then, ultimately...
Caution is out.
And now we got a caution. See? I mean, you never know. But it's one of those things of, now that this thing's gone green and you've been making on cautions, now your strategy's got to change. And now, we got this caution. Now, what's everybody going to do?
Yeah, so there's Kinsley Smith. He was coming through the grass. I didn't get a notification for what happened. I don't know if that was the caution or not, but that's what we've seen. Now, this whole thing changes, right? We got 18 laps to go. I can tell you, Ira is going to be coming to pit road. Ecker, Teft, all these guys if they have the tires, they're going to have to come to pit road, right? I mean, you just got
to.
I
mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're 88. We've got, 17 laps to go. Any of these drivers right now, if they have any kind of tires in the bank, come in, get them, and then that puts everybody on an even playing field. You know, and then it's the best car win. You know, it's you know you can go the distance on fuel. The tires are going to hold up fine for 17 laps. Come get those fresh Goodyear rubbers and battle this thing out.
Now the question becomes, does Ira have a full set left? I would assume that he does. By my calculation, I believe these drivers get 4 sets laying into pits. So that being the case, if they only took rights and whatnot on the first couple of cautions, then every one of these drivers should have a set. So we're going to keep an eye on this. This is going to be interesting because, yeah, the entire field's coming, right? So now who wins the race off pit road? That's going to be the question. Who gambles takes 2 tires?
That was what I was just thinking. I was like, is anybody going to gamble take 2 tire to get track position? Right now, what I'm seeing, it looks like everybody's taking 4.
Yeah. There comes Honeycutt. There comes Ecker. Teff's going to win the race off pit road. Ira's going to gain a couple spots here, I thought. In fact, he's going to move up 1, and he's going to be able to restart on the inside. So he actually beat the 94 off pit road.
I'll say it looks like 4 tires was pretty much the call all the way around. So now everybody's going to be on an even playing field. Going to go back to green, and you know, with about 12 or 13 to go, I believe. I'm trying to think of where we're at now.
Yeah, 14.
Probably around lap 91. So, you know, I mean, it's just going to be now. It's just drive this thing as hard as you can and finish the best you can.
Yeah, and in fact, if you look, there's a couple of cars in front of the 98. I'm not sure what happened to the 49. Was he a lap down? He
came down pit road. I think those guys are all going to get waiver rounds, and the 98 and the 8 is going to be the leaders coming back to the green flag here.
Yeah, you're right.
Def, the 49 and the 82 are all going to get the waiver round here.
Yeah, they was on pit road at lap 81. So yeah, I can see it there now. So now we have a completely different race. We're not going to have anything like we had at Kentucky. Now you're heads up racing, right, Russ? Now let's see who's got the car, because these drivers are going to be driving hard, and they're going to have 15 laps to settle it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is complete polar opposite from what we had last week at Kentucky. I mean, there's no holding back now. I mean, it's, you know, reach up, pull them belts tight, and elbows up, and let's go.
So Andrew Teff has elected to take the outside here. So move Ecker to the inside. You've got Honeycutt, you've got Wayne Scott, you've got Kohlhaas, you've got Pendel, you've got Dennis Kane, you got Truth Hoke. I mean, San Filippo's right there. This thing's about to get wild, Russ.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Andrew's going to bring this field back to the green. He's going to have control on that outside line there. You know, we see Brandon Honeycutt up there, P3. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, he's always dangerous here. Ira's had that fast car all night long. Chris Pendel found speed later on in this race, you know, middle part to the end of this race. So a lot of guys up front right now. Any one of them could win this race, because we're about to go back to green flag racing here.
Yeah, and Andrew's down and away. The green flag is back out. 15 laps to go here from the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You can see Andrew's out to an early jump. The Pendel is pushing the daylights out of Wayne Scott. Very quickly, Kohlhaas moves to the top. He's going to try to get a run here. Is he going to try to squeeze him 3 wide? I don't think he's going to. Move Andrew out front. You've got Wayne Scott, Ecker. They're all right here together.
'94 up there on that high side, trying to make something work with we got a big wreck in the back. Truth Hope, Dennis Kane, 89, 49, Robert Richardson's in it. Big wreck back there in the back.
Yeah, I just seen Truth come across the racetrack. David Davis. Let's check it out from the 49 here. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there it is.
Looked like he kind of blinked there for a minute.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but there was some major contact there that involved several drivers there. So
I know Truth Hoke, if we can go with Truth. I know Truth was caught up in it.
Let me try Truth here. Let me get David Davis. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. All right, so let me back this up just a little bit. Yeah, you can see. Well, actually, we'll get. Yeah, let's just get truth on this deal here. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, truth checks up. Knows he's going to get into the wall. The 12 runs into the back of him. Now, what happens with? Let's stop it. Let's
say it looks like.
Keep an eye on.
I was gonna say it looks like truth. Let's say it looked like truth checked up because he was going to get into the back of the 4, or he did get in the back of the 4, which got him a little bit loose. The 4 comes down into the 89. Then, like you said, you saw the 12 get into the 55. The 89 and 4 are going to go up the track, collect the 55. Guys are going to go evasive. You see the 78 down there on the bottom. That's a 777 down there too. A lot of guys getting caught up in that one, just trying to avoid it.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on there. So move it to 13 laps to go. Andrew Teff still showing the way. Curtis Eckert, Wayne Scott, Pendel, Honeycutt, Cole Haas. Going to be the top 6. Richard Ode, Troy Thomas, Trevor Fettig, Jonathan Winslow. That's going to be the top 10. So stack them, rack them, do it one more time, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the instance we saw Tuesday night with the Truck Series. I mean, had that. We had a couple of incidents earlier on in the race. Then we had that long green flag run in the middle of the race, and then it was bringing cautions at the end of the race. And here closing in on about 12 laps to go here, coming to 11 to go. Quite possibly could be seeing that again.
Russ, I think what we'll do is we'll put a notice out in the Discord channels for these drivers to let them know when we get late race caution like this with 13 laps to go, just be prepared. We're going to pull you up into the broadcast booth and do a quick interview. Because I'd like to know what these drivers are thinking right now.
Probably similar to what I was thinking on Tuesday night of, I've been in this car for about an hour. I really have to pee, and I would like this race to get over with.
Yeah, I can relate. I mean, I was broadcasting a race one night where when that happened to you, and you just parked the thing. So
that's right. Come right down pit road, parked it at about halfway point, and when you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. All right. So the only swap for position really was Cole Haas and Honeycutt. So now Cole Haas is actually going to have a preferred line and be able to restart on the outside, with Andrew Teff electing to take the outside. The 94, that restart we just had, right, with the third caution, Russ, pushed the 10 as hard as he could push him. So we know the 94 had a really good restart. If he gets another one, he's going to try to clear Andrew, and he's going to try to clear Ecker. So this is going to be a wild restart. We're going to have 11 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you get some of these races sometimes. The cautions breed cautions, and I think at this point, you kind of have to treat this as that's what's going to happen. So you need to try to make up as many positions as you can, as quickly as you can, once these things go back green. And now we're back green. I see Curtis Eckert almost try to jump Andrew Teff right there. That kind of checks up that inside line with Kirby Wainscott. And that's going to give the outside line a heck of a run. You see the 94 right on the bumper of the 98. And here comes the 29 right there with him.
Yeah, so what a great restart by that outside line, right? I mean, those three drivers was hooked up and ready to go. You can see Pendel now starting to challenge Teff. You got Cole Haas right there on the outside battling Wayne Scott.
And that's exactly what Andrew Teff wants to see of those side-by-side battles. Let him check out of this thing a little bit and give himself some breathing room.
Yeah, I think this is where the outside line really needs to put some pressure on the inside cars, because that outside line is going to have a heck of a run exiting right there. Ira trying to get to the outside of 8's not going to be able to. So move Pendel up to second, move Ecker to third, Ira to fourth.
We got a battle for fifth there with Brandon Honeycutt and Kirby Wainscott side by side. Looks like they've settled that there. Troy Thomas right there in the mix too.
Ira's going back to the top. He's going to try to generate a run off the corner. In fact, it may have hurt him that time. In fact,
Kirby getting a little, trying to get a run going into 3, not able to do it. Just back up up behind Ira there.
So Get that restart out of the way. Teft, Pendel, Ecker, Kohaus, Wainscott. That's the top 5. Honeycutt, Thomas, Sanfilippo, Alex Teft. What a rebound he's had. Move him inside the top 10. David Davis, 10th.
Yeah, Chris Pendel is trying to get a run here on Andrew. Andrew's going to have to run a defensive line, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold him off for too awful long. See Pendel up there in that wall again, trying to make something work here.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Ecker and Kohaus to really gain on the back end of that 94. You can see, you're right, Andrew's running a defensive line right now, putting some really weird, awkward, dirty air on the front of that 94, and that 94 is just not rotating, not being able to carry much momentum, although he's going to have a decent run off of the exit of turn 2 here.
Yeah, the one thing that Andrew is really good at is forcing the driver to...
Oh, the 94 tricked him. The 94 tricked him.
He got him. Yeah, he's dragging racing him down the front stretch. I was going to say, the one thing the 98 is really good at is forcing the driver to run somewhere where he is not comfortable, but the 94 juked them there, and they're going to go side by side into one.
Yeah, the
94 looking to clear the 98 on exit. I don't know if he's going to quite get it done. Not going to get him clear yet. They're going to drag race down the back stretch.
We are going to have a Truth Hoken to the wall back there. We got a drag race for the lead. You got Pendel on the inside, Theft outside of him. What a beautiful move by Pendel. He faked him like he was going to go to the top. He didn't. He drove it as hard as he could to the bottom, got to the quarter panel, and they've been running side by side. Now, this is going to allow Ecker to close up. This should allow Kohaus, Honeycutt, Wainscott. They're right here together. It should allow them guys to close in. Here they come. Dude, we've got a battle for the race win with 5 laps to go.
Yeah, neither one of these two, Teft or Pendel, is giving an inch. You see Teft get a little loose there. Pendel not able to make anything work, and now we've got Curtis Ecker going to make it 3 wide coming to the line.
Oh, hold on to Pendel.
Pendel's going to get loose, and the caution is out. Not for that, but the 24 back gets into the wall as well.
What a battle for the race lead, and just by the snap of a finger, we're going to head into what I think is going to be a green-white checker, but, you know, we'll
that 94 has got some major rear end damage on that thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it back here. You can see they're 3 wide. I'm gonna have to back it up a little bit further. You can see Ecker gets a beautiful run on the bottom, and I can tell you, when 2 cars are side by side, it just opens up such a draft for these drivers. But let's take a look here, Russ, and yeah, I believe the 94 is gonna make a little bit of contact with the 98 here. Yeah, there's the contact.
It looked like the 94 was coming up. The 98 was trying to come down, maybe not quite realizing he was fully 3 wide there. And
you can see on board with Pendel, he's just trying to drive it out as much as he can. Most of all the drivers did a really good job of staying away from him. There's the contact right there with Truth Hope. That's what happened to the rear end of the car.
Yep,
yeah,
Truth Hope getting into the back of him. And I said, and I know the 24 was also involved in something too. Not sure where he came into play on this. I think he has some pretty significant damage on that 24 car too, with whatever happened to him.
Let's see if we can show him on the screen. And in fact, yeah, he's sitting there on pit road. So, believe we're going to have a green-white checker. You got Teft, Ecker, Kohaus, Wainscott, Honeycutt. I mean, Ecker had the run there before that caution, right when that caution came out, and we was going to have a 3 wide battle there.
Ecker definitely had the. I said Ecker definitely had that speed in the, the 94 drifting up like that, left that bottom lane open, and in this late in the race, if that lane opens and you've got the speed, man, you got to take it. And Curtis tried to take it. I mean, he even was willing to go down onto the apron, what we saw there, to try to get that pass done. But you just this late in the race, you're going for the win. You see that opportunity, and you're not going to let it go.
So the lights is out on the pace car. Teft is going to elect to take the outside, move Ecker to the inside. You got Kohaus on the inside, Wainscott on the outside, Honeycutt, Troy Thomas Look at Troy here. Our man has
he's
made
had
a rebound.
Yeah, he's had quite a rebound. Yeah.
And Alex Teft, we know he got
Alex
spun
Teft,
around, brought out the second caution we had tonight, and look, inside the top 10.
Yeah, I mean like I said, that's one of those things with these Races Elite races. Something happens early on. You're a lot of these guys are able to make these rebounds and get themselves back into a competitive position by the end of the race. So it's always something that I can't seem to figure out how to make happen to me, but we see it all the time here at Races Elite.
So that's going to be a heartbreaker for last year's season champion Christopher Pendell. The lights is out on the pace car, Russ. That means we do have a green-white checker. I've noticed that.
Yeah, we got 3 attempts. This is going to be the first attempt at it. So Andrew Teft and Curtis Ecker bring this field back down.
We know that outside line has had really good restarts, Russ. And again, Ecker's laying off. He just didn't time at that time. And there goes Teft. There goes Ecker. Wayne Scott's going to be side by side. Cole Haas, what's he elect to do? He's going to stay low here. He's going to try to get up there to the 10. He's actually going to have a pretty good run off here on the 10.
Yeah, he's going to look down to the inside, going down the backstretch, try to give himself a good run going into 3 here.
So side by side for third is Cole Haas, is Wayne Scott. Wayne Scott will actually clear.
We got a wreck in the back, but they're got to the white flag. We got one car flipping upside down across the start-finish line coming to the white flag here. This thing's going to stay green. The next flag we will see will be the checkered.
So we're going to stay right here with Andrew Teft. Andrew Teft does have the commanding lead right now. Ecker, Wayne Scott in tow. Ira's pushing, trying to get to the quarter. He's not going to be able to. Andrew Teft is going to bring this thing home, get his first win of the season here at Las Vegas. Ecker second, Wayne Scott third.
Great finish by the top 3 there. Able to hold it off, and Andrew able to get that first win of the season.
I want to see if we can't figure out just exactly what happened back here. There it is. Dennis Kane. There's the wreck that you were talking about, Russ. The 21. That's the 21 of Mike Hardy. Let's just go back real quick and take a look. We'll actually hop on board with the 21 here. That started back here at the exit. Just racing for position.
21 and 4. Yeah, so it looks like 21 and 4, just kind of getting a little tight there. And
oh, I hit the wrong button. Well, we'll watch Andrew do it. We'll watch Andrew do a burnout. I hit the wrong button, Russ. I went to live instead of play.
Oh, man.
We'll get Andrew to do these burnouts. Let's show the finishing results. I've been off tonight for some reason. There it is. Andrew Teft with his first win of the season. He's going to burn him down. Curtis Ecker, beautiful run. Kirby Wayne Scott battles back to a third place finish. Ira Cole Haas had the fastest lap of the race, I do believe, will come home fourth. Honeycutt fifth. Troy Thomas sixth. Alex Teft seventh. Richard Ode eighth. David Davis ninth. Robert Richardson's going to round out the top 10.
Then Charles Joplin is going to come home in 11th. Joshua Neal in 12th. Trevor Fettig 13th. Mike Hardy, just saw him go upside down across the line coming to the white flag. Going to still bring this thing home in 14th. Dennis Kane is going to be in 15th. Barry Nelson 16th. Brandon Sanfilippo 17th. Chris Pendell, that heartbreak there, coming home in 18th. Josh Norton 19th. Truth Hoken 20th. Jonathan Winslow 21st. Puffenbarger 22nd. Kensley Smith going to be 23rd, and Timothy Eisburn going to round out the field of 24 here tonight.
And let's see if we can get these drivers in here and talk with them. I can tell you that was just a wild finish. I mean, those last 15 laps was just absolutely insane. We seen 3 wide going there and the whole bit, and it was just a wild finish that we had here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, you get that, that caution that kind of brought everybody down pit road and put everybody on that, that level playing field with tires and fuel, and it turns it into now a 15 lap battle or so to just best car at it at that point. So just definitely a change from last week where it was whoever could save the most fuel, won the race to all right, let's battle it out for 15 laps. Who's got the best car is going to win the race.
Let's see if we can get our third place finisher in here, Russ. Hey, Kirby, it's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy. That was immaculate timing, by the way. I just sat back down and put my headset on.
That's perfect because I moved you up into the waiting room and then just moved you in. So, yeah. Well, listen, man. I tell you what, you started up. Where'd you start? I can't remember. Fourth, fifth. You was inside the top 5, I believe, with your starting spot tonight, right? And so
second.
Yeah,
started second.
Yeah, but I mean, just what a weird race, right? Some untimely cautions that kind of flipped fuel just a little bit, and then we had that one caution with 15 laps to go, and then, man, you guys were coming. Ecker forced it 3 wide with Teft, with Pendel. That kind of opened up the door for you and Kohlhaas to try to make some moves, and just another caution, Green-White-Checker. Just take us through the night overall and how you managed to pull this thing home into third place.
Yeah, that was a lot of ups and downs in that one because started second and I was holding my own there. Wasn't sure if I was running too hard at the beginning or not because I had told my teammates, I'm like, hey, I'm probably gonna fall back a little bit here because I'm gonna save my stuff. And I mean, and then we had the caution that came out. And a bunch of us came in, a bunch stayed out, and we were all like, well, I think the best call is to stay out. So we were like, hey, we're in the best strategy, and we were just gonna cruise. I think Andrew and Curtis were probably going to finish 1, 2. I was probably going to finish 4th behind Honeycutt. So we were just kind of cruising. Then that caution came out. We're like, oh, no, this is going to change everything.
Yeah, so take us through that when you got that caution, right? Because some of those drivers, Kohlhaas and some of those guys were all strategy, right? And we knew that they was going to have to try to stretch fuel to get to the end from when they pitted. I believe it was around lap 55, 60. So Kohlhaas, I believe Kinsley was one of those. And so take us through that. When you seen that caution come out with 15 laps to go, was that kind of a mindset changer? Get 4 fresh good years and let's buckle down and go back racing.
Yeah, I mean, for up until that, right before that caution came out, I mean, I shifted into cruise mode, just conserve mode, just log the laps and take my P4, P5, whatever it was, and call it a night. And then that caution came out. So you immediately got to change your mindset from, hey, I'm just going to cruise to, I better get everything I can out of this car or I'm going to the back.
Well, listen, man, it was a wild finish. I mean, 3 wide up there, you guys, it was absolutely insane. Listen, man, anybody like you'd like to give a shout out to? First of all, before you do that, let me say thank you, man, for running the windshield banner. I believe it's on your car. And
yes, sir.
Let me say thank you for that and how much I appreciate what you put out in Discord. That means a lot to me. I want to say thank you for that. But any shout outs you want to give, man, friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I mean, first I'll give a shout out to Kinsley. He's the one that designed my car. He's the one that designs all the cars I run. So give a shout out to him. KS Designs, if anybody wants a really awesome paint scheme, give Kinsley a shout out. And my teammates, I mean, we finished 1, 2, 3, and Alex came back from being a lap down, finished P7, I think he said. So big shout out. Chicken Coop really brought it tonight. And yeah, Brandon, I mean, after watching the broadcast, I'm going to sit here and rant for a minute, but after watching the broadcast last week, man, I mean, it was 11 o'clock at night, and I was sitting here with a box of tissues, man. I mean, my dad, he had heart surgery it was about a year ago. It was a year and a half ago now. So, I mean, that was a pretty rough stretch, but I mean, just hearing that about your dad and everything. And I mean, I know that we are going to get angry with each other racing. I mean, hell, we see some of these guys and talk to some of these guys more than we do a lot of our family. So there's going to be times where we get mad and angry at each other, but in the grand scheme of things, this is just fun hopping on here and racing with these guys every night. So, I mean, the least we could do is throw a banner on a car, but we just want to let you know that this is more than just a racing league. This is a racing family, and it's really important to be there for somebody when they're going through a tough time. And so I just want to let you know, let you know that you and your dad and your family is in our thoughts and our prayers, and we're here for you whenever you need us, man.
Man, I appreciate that. And you know, in that message you put out, you said, I'm not 100% sure how you even did the broadcast. And, yeah, you know, dad battles heart disease and now the chronic kidney disease. And yeah, it has been tough, but he's taught me everything about racing I know. And I made a commitment to Thursday night with Russ, to Andrew, to all the racers that I would be here. And, Dad would beat my ass if I didn't come in here and do it. So, that's why I'm here, man. And you're right. I mean, there's times drivers butt heads and we get heated, but at the end of the day, we are here for each other. And ever since I've became a part of the Racers Elite community, it's just been nothing but respect. And so again, Kirby, I say thank you and I appreciate it. We race together a couple, 2 or 3 nights a week now. I think we race together on Mondays and, yeah, Wednesday night.
Yeah,
and so
we're gonna have to have a little talk about that Monday race.
hey, that was look. Some guy said that call was stupid. But
You sitting there pushing Ira to the win. Come on, man.
I got you.
Killing me.
Hey, look. Hey, here's the thing, man. Everybody else wanted to say we wanted to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, no, that was the right call. You all did it. You all did it right.
Listen, man, congratulations on that third, dude. You've been a driver I've kept my eye on. Even late last season when we finished out, you know, you've been a driver I've kept my eye on, and I've picked you several times to win some races, and I stopped doing that because I figured that was bad luck. So, but congratulations again, Curb, on that third place finish, man, and go celebrate with the team. Yeah,
that was the first thing I asked Curtis when we created up. I'm like, "Are you listening to the broadcast?" He's like, "Yep." I'm like, "Have they picked any of us yet?" So
yeah,
so before the race even starts, we're wondering who you all pick because we don't know if the jinx or the curse is on us or not.
Well, me and Russ actually stopped picking drivers because we got so many threats from everybody. We just stopped. So
yeah, I'm tired of. I was getting tired of getting those emails of stop picking me or I'm going to find you because every time you pick me, I wreck or I have a bad race. So yeah, we just kind of stopped doing that.
Yeah, we don't want to give the commentary curse to anybody. So,
but there's just something about this next gen car that has really just clicked with me because I mean I've been terrible in the Xfinity car. I'm all right in trucks every once in a while, but something about this car just fits the way I drive. So hopefully I can keep it up.
Well, man, look, congratulations again. Third place, a hard drive, and we'll see you next week when we're rolling to Chicagoland.
Yep, I'll be looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Welcome, man. I tell you, that's the first time, Russ, I've got to interview Kirby Wainscott, and what a ball of fun, man. That was a blast.
Yeah, Kirby's always a hoot, you know, as long as he has a good run. He's not always the hoot when he gets wrecked or something like that. But yeah, Kirby's good people.
Let's bring Curtis in. Curtis, it's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Man, you had a fairly solid night. I mean, you started back there P11, a little bit just outside the top 10 there, but solid night all around. You made some moves earlier on, got yourself up there, you know, inside the top 5, showed a lot of speed all night long, brought it home second here tonight. Go ahead and just take us back through your race and what you saw there from behind the wheel.
Yeah, I haven't had good luck here in Vegas. I think that's honestly my first 10 since I've been racing with these guys at Racers Elite, so it hasn't been good. I know the race didn't start very well. I couldn't really do nothing, but the farther up I got, the better the car went, and I had a really good hot rod near the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's one of the things about these mile and a halves too is you know, the big difference being that clean air. You know, once you put yourself into, you know, a position where you get that clean air, it really seems to make a difference with these next gen cars. Don't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. that made a world of difference, especially when it was just me and Andrew up front and we could kind of change who was getting clean air. It felt amazing.
Yeah, I know I talked about it a couple times tonight where, the guy running in second, trying to run that differing lane just to get that clean, that clean air, kind of give you just a little bit of a better run. But I mean, again, you kind of showed that speed all night long, worked your way up there, and, we thought you're going to have a shot at winning this thing. But, your old teammate got the best of you again, man. When are you going to, stop taking that from him?
I was just worried about getting a podium finish. I mean, this week, trucks and Xfinity, I had 2 DNFs basically. So
I was right there with you Tuesday night. So
I wanted to turn my luck around, and I was actually talking to my dad before the race, and he said my luck's going to change tonight, and apparently it did.
Well, man, I mean, going back, to last year, I said, you were from the season prior, you and Pindell were probably the 2 most improved drivers last season from the season prior, and then, you guys finishing, right at the top of the points championship, and that carrying over again, so far this season. I mean, still showing that speed, that confidence is there, knowing that you have that speed. So, I mean, I'm expecting good things out of you this year, Kurt.
Expecting good things out of you. I know I didn't want to see that last caution. I was hoping to see what that 3 wide would have resulted there.
I wanted to see what that 3 wide resulted.
Well, I said, and that's what I was just going to bring up was it's like, well, you had that speed with that last caution coming, and then you saw Pindell look like just kind of got, I don't know if he got a little bit tight or what, but he washed up that track and opened that inside lane. And like I told Brandon, I'm like, this late in the race, you're not going to leave that lane open.
Oh, and I got quite the run off 4. I was actually even surprised. I was trying to help Andrew as much down the straightaways as I could, but I knew with like 3 laps to go, when I had that run off 4, I had to try and do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, and it, almost made it work if it wasn't for that caution coming out from Pindell getting a little loose there and bringing that caution out. But all in all, a solid night, solid points night for you, bringing it home P2. Going back to another 1.5 mile cookie cutter type of track next week there at Chicagoland. So, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you and let you give your shout outs before we send you off and talk to you next week.
Thank you guys all for you do an amazing broadcast every week. Everybody at Racers Elite, my family, and just everybody who helps with this awesome show week in, week out.
All right, man. Well, hopefully, like I said, hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again next week at Chicagoland. Bring that same pace in there next week. It's almost a mirror image again of these first 2 races. So hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again. All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
That's Curtis Ecker. And I tell you, he had speed last year. He's shown some speed this year. Knocking on the door. It won't be long before I think we see Ecker in victory lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure he found it, last year. I think he picked up a win last season. Just he keeps seeing gradual improvement, out of him week after week, and he's getting faster and keeping that pace. So I think, in the same kind of an instance as like Chris Pindell did last year, once you get that breakthrough, and you get that monkey off of your back for the season. I think there's still a lot of good coming from Kurt as the season's going to progress. And like I said, I'm holding him to big things this season.
Absolutely. Let's get our race winner in here. Andrew, it's Brandon.
Yeah, let's talk to this guy.
Yeah, let's talk to this guy, right? Andrew, it's Brandon.
Talk to this guy.
It's Brandon and Russ in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, fellas. How's it going?
Hey, man, listen. You've locked yourself into the playoffs, right? You got that win. You were so close last week and just ran out of fuel about 100 yards, 200 yards away from the start finish line. But this week you follow it up and you grab the victory.
Yeah, it feels really good. Thought I had it last week, but yeah, I ran out off of turn 4, like you were saying, super close. The bonus points are so important in this series. It's not my best series, so these wins really got to grab them when you can take them. And That three extra points when the chase comes around goes pretty far. These guys are really tough, and it's a little bit nervous there with Pendel at the end. He's really good on the short run. That's not really my strength. I was better on the long run, so that was really tight there. I'm not sure what quite happened off of 4. I saw you lost it, but I think we were 3 wide there when the yellow came out. So it's been interesting to see how that played out. But yeah, it's a really fun race.
Yeah. So take
I was
us.
gonna say I wouldn't. Well, I was just gonna say, like, I went back and I rewatched that, and it kind of looked like Pendel was coming up, and you were kind of coming down just a little bit off that exit, and maybe a little bit of net code was involved from that, but yeah. And then Curtis took that sucker 3 wide in there when that gap opened up on the bottom, and we thought we were gonna have a 3 wide drag race down the front stretch there.
Yeah. So
yeah, it must have been fun to watch.
Oh, it was it was a blast. I ain't gonna lie. That was fun for us. I don't know about for you guys in the car, but take us through that. You know, that late race run there. It looked like you was running a little bit of the defensive line, especially through I believe it was 3 and 4, where you had blocked that outside line on him. He wasn't able to generate a run, but then the very next lap you went up to block it again, and he actually shot to the bottom, which allowed an opportunity to develop a run. Take us through that. That was actually what led into Ecker getting a run and you all being 3 wide, you know, the next corner. But take us through that. Was that kind of a defensive line, just knowing that he's, you know, really fast on short runs?
Yeah, that was an intentional choice. When we were running him down before, I noticed he was up top mostly, and that works good for a little while. If you got to run a full fuel run, right front burns off after a while, but it was only like 15 laps or something to go, so I figured he'd probably go up there. So I tried to take that away from him, and then it turns out he was pretty good down low too. So kind of had to grab his right rear arrow wise and keep pulling him back and stay side by side. That kind of let Curtis into the picture, and I don't know how it would have turned out with all 3 of us going into one. There's a bunch of grip down low, and Curtis was down there, so I think I probably would have pulled him back, and maybe Curtis would have got ahead. I don't know what would have happened. Like, I don't know what would have happened down the backstretch. Probably have a pretty good run, but just kind of going over the what ifs. But yeah, worked out great. Real nervous when that yellow came out because, like I said, short runs aren't my strength, but just glad it all worked out right.
Yeah, so we noticed, especially on the restarts, right, that there was about every time you had to restart that you was in control of the race, you went to the outside. It just looked like the outside had that momentum, especially on restarts, to be able to carry through 1 and 2 to set up a pretty decent run down the back straightaway. Just take us through those restarts, those late race restarts, especially on the Green-White-Checker.
Yeah, I took the top because I didn't want anybody to be able to grab my right rear going into 1 on those restarts. It felt like if somebody, like toward the start of the race, I was running pretty conservative on the bottom and kind of just getting freight trained up top, and it took a while for my car to come in. Then I would kind of reel them back in, but I figured if somebody got to my right rear, they might just all keep coming, and being that short of a run, just wanted to make sure I my defense on.
Well, congratulations, man, on securing a spot within the playoffs with this win. Again, just a little bit short last week, but was able to get it done tonight. So that locks you in, and now you can race a little bit more comfortably, try to go out and chase wins at this point. I know you have people you'd like to thank, man, so give those shout outs and enjoy this victory.
Yeah, firstly, I want to thank my teammates. Curtis and I did a really good job working together to slice through the pack toward the middle of the race, and I've got really great teammates all around. Chicken Coop top 3 actually, so that's pretty cool. I want to thank our servicemen and women, friends, family, and I want to thank Kensley for doing my paints all the time, and Chantel over in race control. You guys up in the booth for always helping out, and got a bunch of stuff coming up. I feel like a broken record, but we've got a brand new Super Speedway series starting tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Still got some spots left in that if anybody's interested. And the way you can register is just to head over to our website, racerselite.com. You can find a Discord invite on our homepage, and then that'll get you into our Discord server. You can message me on there. We'll get you all set up. Tomorrow night we've got Xfinity at New Atlanta for the first race, so that'll be fun. And let's see, we've got a big race Sunday morning also. It's a charity event for the Hunter Lopez Foundation and Mission 22. Alex Gates, one of our drivers, helped us set it up. And that's going to be at 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Still got some spots left in that also. It's $20 to enter. Half of it goes toward a donation toward the foundations. And then we've got a bunch of other prizes to give out in that one. We've got a Marine Corps challenge coin. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, free entry to our Sunday Premiere Series next year. 2026 is coming up pretty quick. Then, free paints from KS Designs, like I mentioned before. So check out our website. You can find all of our events, series, schedules, standings, invites, social media, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Everything's on there. And if you can't find what you need, just message me on Discord and we'll get it figured out. And just one last thing, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you don't mind doing us a favor, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel homepage. Everybody helps.
Well, listen, congratulations again, Andrew, on that win here tonight in Las Vegas. And we'll see you next week when we get to Chicagoland.
Yeah, thank you. And thoughts with your family.
I appreciate it. And also, Andrew, I want to say thank you, man. I seen the windshield banner, and yeah, that means a lot. I went back and watched the truck race and seen the windshield banners there, and then a lot of us had them last night in the Xfinity race, and I just want to say thank you, man. It means a lot to me and the family, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a big family here. We all get to race each other so much that we get to know each other pretty well, and it's a really neat community to be able to do stuff like that. There's not a lot of other video games and sports where you can be that creative and customize your stuff. So it's I don't know, nice to be able to do those sorts of things, and we're happy to do it for you.
Appreciate it, man. And that is Andrew Teft, our race winner, Russ. And then, yeah, he did everything he needed to do tonight to lock himself into the playoffs. And now he just gets to go chase wins, him and Kinsley Smith both.
Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier in the race, this is one of those tracks that Andrew's really good at. And, we questioned what he was doing earlier. He was falling off, moving back through that field, found himself, outside the top 10 and flirting with being outside the top 15. And, then finally got that, the pit stops underway and got that long green flag run. And lo and behold, he finds himself right back up front again, just like I said he probably would. And, ends up coming away the winner tonight here in Vegas and locking himself into this season's playoffs. So he gets to go out and try to pick up another championship again. And, we'll see what he's going to bring next weekend, because, next week we go right back to another track just like tonight at Chicagoland. So it's going to be interesting to see.
I think it will. And once we get out of Chicagoland, we got Watkins Glen and, the rest of the schedule. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me and Russ here on the Racers Elite Network. Again, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. And if you are interested in running in anything we have going on here in Racers Elite, you can go to racerselite.com. You can find all the information there. Again, Andrew touched on some of the special event stuff we have coming up this weekend. So make sure to go to racerselite.com and check it out. Russ, any final thoughts?
Man, just another exciting race here tonight. I mean, like I said, last week was that fuel mileage race. Tonight it was just kind of balls to the wall with that last caution, putting everybody on the same kind of a strategy. And man, it kind of makes me wonder what Chicagoland is going to bring next week. Can't wait to get there.
Cannot wait to get there. Again, congratulations to Andrew Teft on his victory. And we will see everybody right back here on Racers Elite Network next Thursday night for the Racers Elite Next Gen Cup Series, where these guys will head to Chicagoland and tackle the 1.5 miles there. So on behalf of Russ and myself, we'll catch everybody next week. Have a good night.